Hayden was the one I did not see coming.
Don't sleep on the youngins.
No, for sure. I'll say like this. If he sticks to it, he can potentially, take over this game for a little bit of time. Some comments that Andy Roddick felt that he had to make about pickleball.
You're going through the pickleball, like what the problem is, and I said the pacing is weird.
Andy Roddick is a proven pro and champion in tennis. This ain't tennis. Nadal, you guys are gonna get mad. I'm over him. I think he should retire. I want to see the new generation of players, man.
Every Mets season feels like a toxic relationship. It
Yeah.
starts off great. There's a honeymoon phase.
The
and
honeymoon
then slowly but
phase.
surely, you see the signs, injuries. People start not showing up. People get slumps,
I'm gonna take a sip of water for that.
And then by the end, we sell at the last second. And then we don't make the playoffs.
To all my Mets fans, enjoy the ride.
Keep your head up.
Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. You are now tuned in to the Roar channel. And I'm your host, Tiger Saleh. And this is my co-host. You know it, the Brody, the Crody, Leaf. My brother, what's going on?
Just doing my thing.
Man, we're here. It's episode 4. We're 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I'm good. We got to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
And, keep going for part 2.
How was your week?
Not bad. Just celebrating a lot of birthday parties this past week.
A lot of Aries.
Aries.
The Aries season in full
Aries
effect.
season.
We're 2 Aries. I don't really like to do the horoscope thing, but you're a March, I'm an April. But we're still very,
We still have some overlap, but you're more of an April Aries.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I'm not as aggressive.
I'm very
in terms
fiery.
of
Roar, like
yeah.
the roar. Anyhow,
the roar.
the hints. Want to jump into it?
Let's jump into it. Let's do this.
So we're gonna start off this week with some pickleball, man, and some really surprising news. Hayden Patriquin defeated Ben John's LA Open 11-6, 11-6, which, whoo, man, I don't know if you guys have seen the match. I saw clips. Wow, what did you get from it?
Well, I think he just played a very matured and strong match in the sense where he was good in transition. He was good at, playing at Ben's pace because Ben wants you to play slow, get into these crafty cat and mouse points.
Mm-hmm.
And he held his ground, and he almost outwitted him for most of the match. As you see, 11-6, 11-6. I think that says a lot about the match and how it went.
Man, I was actually like really surprised. After I knowing how Kwong beat Ben and a couple other people, Hayden was the one I did not see coming. Now, have I seen his game coming? Absolutely. He's a very strategic player.
Don't sleep on the youngins.
No, for sure. And listen, let me say something. He has a really, I'll say like this, if he sticks to it and he stays in shape, he can potentially, take over this game for a little bit of time because he has youth on his side and now he's gotten pretty much the experience, right? So in a lot of ways, I was caught off guard. He's number 23. Ben is obviously number 1. So I didn't see it coming, but the clips that I saw, he definitely played fabulous, man. Played paced, he played under control, and that's really the only way you can beat Ben. You can't beat Ben in no other way, because if you try to go, shot for shot, he's gonna outshot you at some point. I mean,
Or outsmart you.
Absolutely. Well, that's the key. He kind of has that Federer feel for pickleball, right? Doesn't show much expression, very strategic and very precise. But that was big news out of the LA Open. I don't know what's the follow up right now. I don't want to sit here and lie to our viewers and act like I know the follow up.
I know that the final is between Connor Garnett and Stackstrud.
Okay, so that Hayden ended up losing.
Yes, I think the next round.
Okay, so when you guys see this, you'll see where we're at. Just to keep it on some pickleball, man. I want to kind of segue into some comments that Andy Roddick felt that he had to make about pickleball, and I actually have the clip here, and I want to play it real quick. So
all right,
let's take a listen.
Do it.
pull this up, guys. I want you guys
And
to.
then everyone's in a rush to start the next one again.
Let's
Why
start it
am
from
I
the beginning.
wrong to think that it'll never work on TV?
I don't know if I think you're wrong. I do. No, I have. But do you still play pickleball?
Not if I can help it. No.
Which I find that very interesting for him to
I'm
say
watching
that.
it on TV as well. Like I agree with you on that part. I do think it's incredibly fun to watch live.
You're going through the pickleball and like what the problem is, and I said the pacing is weird, right? Like you get into it, everything feels like it's kind of in a rush, and you don't actually have the ability to digest and or understand, be told like kind of what's going on. And from where I sit, it's almost as if the better you get, the slower the entire game gets into where.
Right.
You know, it's like it's slow during the points, and then everyone's in a rush to start the next one again. Like, so
Yeah.
the pacing just feels a little strange. Whereas,
All right, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it because I got some opinions, some strong opinions.
All right, go for it.
One, Andy Roddick is a proven pro and champion in tennis. So for me, this is a very weird place to be at because in somewhat ways, he's kind of, how do I say this? He's kind of made it to a place, he's talking from a place of you haven't stepped into the pickleball world. And in comparison to the tennis world, yeah, the game slows down, but it slows down in tennis too. When you become an elite tennis player, the game slows down tremendously. It just looks faster to the viewer, right? The ball gets slower, your swing feels slower. A lot of things slow down.
The ball gets heavier, but the game slows down.
Right. So his comments to me come from a place where it kind of feels biased, right? Does he have a point? Yes, he does. And me and you spoke about this off camera. The pacing is funny in pickleball, especially for doubles, right? Whether it's mix or gender appropriate, however you want to call it. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, come on, bro. Like, what do you think this is? Like, this ain't tennis. That's the whole point. I think especially for us, right? We're tennis players and former competitive tennis players. You have to make the transition. You can't approach it like tennis. Can you still bring some tennis skill set into it? Absolutely. Does it help? Of course. But is it tennis? No, it's not tennis. So to the viewers who are tennis players and you have this negative view on pickleball, change it. Because pickleball is not tennis. There's things that are alike, but it's not tennis. So, for me, I'm in a funny place with that, with his comments. What do you feel?
Well, of course, you know that, not that I side with Andy, but I think that he makes a fair point with the pacing and just how the sport is presented in a, televised format,
Right.
packaged in that manner.
Right.
So I think that the counter would be, as a pickleball player and tennis player, if you want to, let's say, find it to be palatable for a mainstream audience, I think you have to make people understand the game and appreciate the nuances of the scoring, how you hit shots. Because once you have knowledge, then you understand. But like a common, casual viewer won't have that,
True.
fundamental understanding of the game.
True. Quick touch up. 4-5 game and up. What do you feel about players who are playing at that level?
I think at a 4-5 game, it's redundant. It's all about consistency and keeping the ball in play and keeping your opponents back when you're playing doubles and being able to counter and reset. I think that's the main goal that will push you up to a 5-0 up.
Some quick news. Sorry. The Dink and Duper have come together to create like a little minor league pickleball, and apparently they'll be setting up some amateur tournaments for aspiring pros. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a good way and format for people who would consider going pro.
Mm-hmm.
They have this avenue to test out their skills, and it's co-ed. There's 3 boys or 3 men and 3 women, if I'm correct.
Right.
And I think that element adds a nice sociability, and you're traveling with people. So I'm all for it.
Okay. Let's talk some tennis.
All right, let's do it.
You've been on point with the tennis. I'm gonna let you let the viewers know what's going on.
Basically, Rafa has, came back after a short hiatus after losing in the Australian Open. Now he's played at the Barcelona Open. I think he won one match, and then he lost his following match to Alex de Minaur. I forget the score, pardon that. But I watched the highlights, and it was pretty, he still had his game intact, but you can tell the age and, wear and tear from over the years has definitely played a role. And honestly, de Minaur was playing Nadal-esque, like running after these balls, sliding on clay, just showing that tremendous athleticism and determination that we know Nadal for.
True. I saw some of the clips. I haven't been following to our viewers and our subscribers and the people who really like our show and continue to watch and follow. You got to excuse me. I haven't been big on tennis this past week. There hasn't really been anything that's excited me. Nadal is just... You guys are going to get mad. I'm over him. Like, me and my dad had this argument. My dad used to be like a diehard Federer fan. And then recently, he's telling me, oh, Nadal is his favorite. And I'm like, huh? Since when? And he claimed that the turning point for him was, I don't know if it was Djokovic that Nadal had played and he beat him, or it was Federer. And apparently Federer really wanted that championship and he lost and he was crying. And Nadal walked over to him and hugged him. And he said, a man who can have that type of sincere, feeling for another man in competition and war. Humility. The sincere, but it was a sincere feeling, right? Like it looks sincere. I think is what my dad said is what won him over about Nadal. I agree. That's a great, beautiful thing. But ultimately, we're competing to win, right? So I like Nadal, but just not big on him. I think he should retire. I know you guys are gonna kill me in the comments or something, but so what? Like, I love him, but I want to see the new generation of players, man. It's like the NBA. Like I want to see LeBron leave. If not after this year, next year. I've had enough of him. There's so much new and good talent coming up in tennis that these guys need a chance to shine too. French Open picks.
Yeah, we may be a little early. So Tsitsipas won the Monte Carlo Open. We still have Madrid and Rome, those 1,000 Masters tournaments. But who do you have taking it?
Man, I'm always going for the underdog. But truth be told, I like the way Sinner is playing. I like the way he's playing. I'm always rooting for Tiafoe, man. I'm always rooting for Francis because...
Have a miracle run and win the French Open?
Like, almost like how you had that nice run in the U.S. Open.
His game doesn't,
translate
on
Listen,
clay.
I'm going off of a whim right now, and I'm going off a limb. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. It's just me wanting to say I would like to see the guy that nobody expects to win. Not with Sinner, but more so with Francis.
I'm going to go with the guy that nobody wants to win, Djokovic. I think his consistency and determination will prevail. I think he has some unfinished business.
Here you go.
After that Australian Open,
this is where me and you
he'll want to win.
We're like these.
I'm a Djokovic fan. I used to hate him, but I love Djokovic.
I love him too. And then, you know what? In somewhat way, maybe he should win. Why? Because then he can leave too with Nadal. Because
he doesn't want to leave.
No, he needs to.
He loves to win.
But how? Listen. When do we border ambition with greed? Come on, bro.
He's lusting for a win.
Come on, bro. Like,
he wants 30.
You know what?
30 would be crazy.
This is going to be the first time in Raw Channel history that in the middle of our shoot, I am going to change my pick. I'm going Djokovic. You know why? Because I want to see him win and leave.
He's not going to do that.
All right.
But you can lead us into, some baseball.
Ooh, Mets, 5-game winning streak, baby. Yeah.
Yep. So we start. I think in 5-game. I think we started off 0-5, but we've been 8-3-ish in the past 11 games, and definitely the bats have woken up. We've been winning series consistently, and we've been playing pretty scrappy, coming back late in games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just great to see. Consistent bullpen as well.
Listen, the bats
Good
are waking
arms.
up. The bats are waking up. That's Leaf's thing. I'm just following him, but the bats are waking up, and let's hope it stays like this. Let's hope it stays. Cause listen, man, I hope and I pray that we are able to have a ticker tape parade for the Mets.
I mean, Pete
Blue
Alonso
and
won,
orange,
I
baby.
think, batter of the week or NL hitter of the week.
Blue and orange.
Yeah, blue and orange.
Listen, blue and orange is starting to become a very dominant color in New York.
Yeah,
So,
Knicks, Mets.
yeah, we'll get to them. We're gonna get to that.
The
but,
Islanders, unfortunately, but
no,
but
come on, I'm an
Rangers.
Islanders fan.
Really?
bro. Rangers fan too, but
I like
you know,
Rangers because they had Hendrik Lundqvist.
I was a big Rangers fan back in the Messier days.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the kicking of dust.
Yet again. But
Listen.
do you think if Senga, when he comes back, do you think we could, eventually have maybe a playoff push for the wild card spot, if not first, because the NL East is very competitive?
I hope so. Listen, I don't want to jump off of the. I don't want to jump off of the ledge yet, bro, because we have a tendency sometimes we get this good going run. We get it going. We're on a run. Mets, M-E-T. But then it goes downhill at some point. So I don't want to get overly excited. I want to enjoy it. I want to live in the moment, and I want to make it feel worth the while.
You know what? Every Mets season feels like a toxic relationship. It starts off great. There's a honeymoon phase. And then slowly but surely, you see the signs, injuries. People start not showing up. People get slumps,
I'm going to take a sip of water for that.
And then by the end, we sell at the last second. And then we don't make the playoffs. So it hurts. But there's a lot of growth. So I think, spiritually, as a human being, you mature being a Mets fan. It's like going through toxic relationships. You have to learn to be resilient and keep going,
To all my Mets
baseball
fans.
was love,
Listen, to
We're
all
hopeless romantics.
To all my Mets fans, stay the course. Stay the course.
Yep,
enjoy,
stay the course.
Just enjoy the ride.
Keep your head up.
Let's not jump ahead of ourselves, right? Let's enjoy it game by game. And listen, maybe if we take it that way, we can be back up there holding up that statue. Holding up that trophy like we once did many decades, not years, decades ago.
About to be like 40 years.
Decades ago. All right. Well, listen, we're going to take a second out to give a shout out to our sponsors. And then we'll be right back, guys. With over 20 years of experience building award-winning digital solutions for Fortune 500 companies, the experts at Monero Solutions can audit your brand's social media or website and give you a customized strategy and action plan to increase your online presence, engagement, and revenue. Visit www.monerosolutions.com to request your free 30-minute consultation and mention the Raw Network for $500 off your next project. And listen, this shouldn't be new to you guys. We use them. What else can I say to you? They have the right people to fit your needs, and that's all it takes. Monero Solutions, guys, when you get a chance, go visit, check in, get a consultation, mention the Raw Network. Peace. All right, we're back. Thank you. Just a special thanks to our sponsor, which has been really, really helpful for us. And I encourage everybody that if you do want to go and check out our sponsors and what they offer, they're in the description below. Let's move forward, man. Let's talk NBA. It's in the game. On that basis of leaving off from the Mets and going into NBA, let's keep it orange and blue. Knicks clinched the number 2 seed.
Yeah. And we're about to play the 76ers.
I'm a bandwagon Knicks fan right now.
I've been a Knicks fan.
Whatever. Listen, I have reasons.
Since 2010,
Listen,
2011.
I have reasons to not like the Knicks, being that I kick up dust and I used to be a diehard Bulls fan in the MJ era, and you know how we felt about the Knicks.
How were you a Bulls fan as a New Yorker in the 90s?
Because I was a huge MJ fan, man. After listen,
that's a hot take.
After MJ, it was AI. After AI,
You were
it
a
was
traitor.
Kobe.
There, you were a traitor back
After
in the
Kobe,
90s.
it's been Kyrie. Those are my guys, man. MJ, AI, Kobe, Kyrie. But let's talk about it, man. Knicks clinched the number 2 seed. Listen, Knicks Nation, you guys should be really, really happy. Let me ask you a question. You'll know better than me. When Carmelo and the Knicks made it to had that nice good season they had, did they finish? What seed did they finish as?
Second seed.
They were a number 2 seed as well?
Mm-hmm.
And they lost what? First round?
Semifinals.
Conference
Semifinals.
semifinals. Against who? Miami? Or was it?
Yeah, Miami.
It was Miami.
No. We lost to the Pacers.
Was it the Pacers?
Remember the Pacers got us.
Ooh. Jalen Brunson. I really think he deserves to be mentioned for that MVP.
All NBA still.
He better be first team All NBA. If they put him second team All NBA,
I think he'll get second team.
That's a catastrophe, bro.
Because there's too many guards. I think Shea and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, but he's
will get priority
is he
over him.
6'1", 6'2", maybe? They list him at 6'2", 6'3". I don't even think he's that tall. I think he's about 6 foot, 6'1". But he's a bucket. And they just been playing really good as a team.
Nah, but they're gonna have the height bias. I think they like that 6'5", 6'4".
What do you feel about this Knicks team, man? Give me something.
I think we coming for that Eastern Conference final.
Ooh,
hot take.
talk your
I'd love to make the finals, but the Celtics are going to be a tough battle. I hope we prevail and beat them, and then I think if we beat the Celtics, we can take.
Do you guys have a winning
whoever
record? Do you
in
guys
the
have a winning
Western-
record against the
in the
Celtics this
finals.
year?
Say that again.
Do you have a winning record against the
So
Celtics? Didn't
we
you take
have
like 2
a
games?
1-4 record.
Oh, I thought you took 2
We
games.
lost, I think, 4 or 5 games, and then we won the last game of the season, and it was a pretty good game. But we smoked them.
Okay.
So
And they had all their
boost
players
coming into the
JT,
playoffs. Yeah.
JB, all of them was playing.
Going into play. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk playoff lineups and predictions. So real quick, Eastern Conference. This is what we have right here. Let me get this mic over here. Let me get my mic. We got Cleveland and Orlando, first round. Boston is still waiting, I guess, for who's the winner of the play-in. New York and Philadelphia. We're going to get back to that. Milwaukee and Indiana. Western Conference, Oklahoma is still waiting for who they're going against. We got LA against Dallas, which should be really
that's gonna be a
entertaining. Denver against the Lakers, because Dallas is going against Clippers. And Minnesota against Phoenix.
Well, that would be a good series too.
I think Minnesota and Phoenix is probably
Lot
going to
of
be
good
one of the
first round
underrated.
That's gonna lot good first round matches.
Absolutely. I think that's going to...
Matchups.
What do you... I know you're looking to that. Let's talk your key matchups. East Coast, West Coast. I know you said you're going Knicks, Sixers. That's your focus in these playoffs, right? Eastern Conference?
You meant Knicks, Celtics.
No. Knicks are playing Sixers.
Oh, you're saying for this first matchup?
Yeah. It's the first round.
Well, yeah. I'm looking at that matchup, but I'll watch all the other ones. Those are going to be entertaining.
What do you think they're going to take? You think Knicks are going to take it?
Knicks, do they play a 5 or 7?
7.
Knicks in 5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going with that with you. I'm playing it safe. Who's the key matchup you want to see in Western Conference?
If I had to choose, definitely the Mavs Clippers. That's going to be an intense, very high level of play, very intense, good matchup.
Okay.
Kyrie against PG or Luka against Kawhi.
Ooh,
that's gonna be
tough. That's a good.
Oh, and Harden against Kyrie.
So I feel in that matchup, Harden he's the key point for the Clippers if they want to pull it out. And as funny as this sounds, I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is the key component for the Mavs if they want to pull it out. Luka and Kyrie are going to do what they do. That's a given.
Yeah.
PG and Kawhi are going to do what they do. It's about that third option and
Those X factors.
the X factors. And Tim, sometimes when he's on, he could shoot with the best of them. Sometimes when he's off, he builds buildings. He stone brick buildings, right? So who do you have coming out the East? Who you have coming out the West? We had this prediction weeks ago on a couple episodes ago. I want to revisit it since we've seen some things change. Who do you got coming out the East? Who do you got coming out the West?
I'm going to say the same still. Celtics and Nuggets. But let me hear your take, and then I'll see what my assessment is.
All right, so my problem is I have my personal choice, and then I have the choices that I think. So I'm going to go choices that I think West Coast. We're going... I want to see Oklahoma or Minnesota come out the West. I mean, that's what I feel I'm going to see. What I want to see is Dallas. I'm rooting for Dallas.
That has to be a miracle run. Like, I think that they can. If Luka and Kyrie turn up, Hardaway does his thing. Lively stays consistent, so they don't get killed on the boards,
Right. I agree. Out of the East, I'm rooting for the Knicks, bro. Listen, this is the first time in my life, to our viewers, this is the first time in my life I've rooted for the Knicks in anything. But I cannot lie to you. Jalen Brunson has won me over. He's won me over, bro. I like the composure he plays with. He has a game that reminds me of the 90s, and it's pure.
It's smooth.
It's smooth. He don't rush. It almost reminds me of Kobe a tad bit in Kobe's latter years. In those years after they won that 5th championship, Kobe became very like an assassin. Just pick your spots, get to them, be patient, pump fake, to say it until they give. And Jalen, I feel like Jalen has kind of fallen in sequence with his inner Kobe. Man, it's pretty cool, and it I love it. I love seeing the Knicks. I love the energy of what they have now, and I love their team aspect. I love the fact that they joke, they laugh. You can see there's a real camaraderie amongst them, and that's just good to see in a sense of its purity.
I think he's a blend of Manu and AI Brunson. Because the footwork and craftiness comes from Ginobili, but the dog and ability to take over a game is in AI, and like that quick first step.
True. I give it to you. That was a good one.
But I think a poor man's, if they made a kid, but it was like the weakest son, because I don't think that he's better than both of them. I think he'd be like
just have some components.
Yeah, components.
Yeah.
That'd be too much glazing.
I want to talk something. Let's talk MVP predictions. Who's your favorite, but who do you think is going to actually win it?
My favorite would be Luka or Shea, but I think Jokic will win. I think Luka and Shea have had very profound offensive seasons, and their ability to make their team better and produce winning basketball while also having a high scoring volume. I think that's great to see. That's something that Jordan did. That's something like Kobe did.
Yeah.
But Jokic is just too solid.
Yeah, that's cool.
Numbers prove it.
That's cool because I'm going against the grain with you. What I would like to see is Shea or AE, Anthony Edwards. I think they played out of their mind this year. Who's always my personal favorite is always going to be Kyrie, because I think Kyrie is the most underrated player in the NBA, because I've never seen somebody play with such a high IQ. He shoots at a high clip. He thinks the game out. He's like an assassin. He's kind of fell in place with that inner Kobe, picks his spots and knows where to go. And when you look at free throw percentage, shooting percentage, scoring average, plus minus, like Kyrie is having one of the best years of his career. And to see that he never is in the conversation is ridiculous. It is. Now, who do I think is going to win it? Jokic. Why? This push for European basketball is at an all-time high. And, you know, you guys are going to get mad at me. He has what they want. He's not a braggadocious guy. He's quiet. He's not a flamboyant player. And even though the NBA is going to use the flamboyant players to market the game, I very rarely see them honor those players when it comes to accolades, you know? So I think he wins, which really upsets the hell out of me because he's boring to watch.
I like watching his game.
I don't. No, he puts me to sleep. And the most exciting player on the Nuggets is Aaron Gordon and MPJ. That's where I stand.
If MPJ never got injured, he would have been.
If MPJ never got injured, he would be one of the best players in the NBA. If not, he would probably be the next version of
KD.
Skinnier. No, I see more LeBron in him, bro. He's just a little skinnier and he's light skinned. You know, team light skin. You know what I'm saying?
Light skin.
And I want to use this to actually go into another point. I want to talk about the transition in the NBA from the mid-range game to a flow, high-scoring game, which to me, the mid-range game is more of United States basketball, and the current game is more European basketball. And as a reference, we both were talking about this off there. You know, Gilbert Arenas had a hot take about this, and I agreed, but also disagreed. You know, tell the people how you feel, Leaf, and I'll follow.
Well, basically, what Gilbert was saying is that the NBA has slowed the game down and made it less physical to accommodate for European players. So the push to, you know, make it more international. I think he is, you know, he has a point, but there's some half truths.
Yeah,
I don't think it was deliberate. I think it's just a product in the evolution of the game.
Whoa, stop.
I think it was
deliberate.
Think it was deliberate?
Okay,
maybe not. It was deliberate, but people knew, so you have to find a way to counter it.
I gotta take a sip of water for that. I got a lot to say about that. I think it was totally deliberate. I think the NBA has made a very, very strategic choice to put into play of highlighting more European players because it brings in more viewership overseas as well as merch sales. I don't even think it's about the fact that they're better players. It's just a bigger market. And it's business. Listen, when the NBA is filed under an entertainment business, it's still entertainment, right? So now you go from having all your viewership or most of your viewership being in America or North America to now it's all over the world. Yeah, of course. So you want everybody to feel inclusive. But here's the fact of the matter is we are a U.S.-based sport. If you want to promote that, send everybody to the NBL. Send everybody to the EuroLeague. If that's the case, the NBA should buy the rights and telecast those games. This is still the United States of America, or Homeland Security, however you want to look at it. But for the most part, you know, I like the flow. I like the high scoring. I like the entertainment. What I don't like is this this agenda to highlight all of the European basketball players as if we don't have great talent and great players coming out of America. But in all, I love everybody. You know, I'm just a fan. So viewers, don't kill me for it. Any last words on NBA and how you feel about him and what's going on? Or
I mean, I think it's good that the game speeded up. I think once the game sped up, the game has become more entertaining, more strategical elements. Do you think people are getting less injured or more injured than before?
More injured.
Well, yeah, maybe that comes from just overtraining.
I think the training's out of the
Yeah.
training's out of control.
But I wouldn't, blame the game. I wouldn't.
No,
Blame
I blame the
speed of game.
trainers,
Yeah,
and I
trainers.
blame the business side. I blame the parents. You parents are out of freaking control. You need to relax. Stop living through your kids. Like, for real. This is out of hand.
It's pathetic.
So we've reached the finish line. And in Raw Channel fashion, as we usually do, we always try to leave with something positive and something that's really true from the heart, right? I'm gonna let Leaf give some this week. What's on?
Putting me on the spot. I
On
didn't
the
expect
spot,
this
man.
coming.
On the spot. What you got?
All right. So let's see. The topic of the day will be life and dealing with the past.
That's appropriate.
Sometimes the past may haunt you, but you got to keep a fresh slate. Because I've been thinking about that. As you know, I'm only 25. Should I say that on camera?
Oh, you're not kicking up dust, huh?
Not kicking up dust, but it's easy to look back at things you should have done, you could have done. Shoulda, coulda, woulda syndrome, I call it. And I think as you get older, you have to look past that, and you can't let the past blind your ability to see the future. And I think I'm learning that as I age and mature, that you just got to do things and just try it out.
I agree.
Get your feet
You're a
wet.
wise young man, brother. You're a wise young man.
I'm trying, I think another epiphany I've had is, I may have knowledge, but I lack knowledge, like the experience in doing it, action.
Right.
I can know things, but I don't do it. So
Right.
what good is knowing it if you don't do it?
True. I'm gonna piggyback that. When you have to let go of the past, it's one of the hardest things you could do. I've actually been going through some of that lately. And, one of the things that is hard to come to grips with, and I'm a little different from Leaf. He's my brother, but we are, in different parts of our life. I'm 40 years old, and, life is a lot different at 40 in comparison to 25. And it's harder when you get older to let go of things, because as you get older, you look for that comfort, you look for that stability. And when it's taken from you or removed or not there, it's extremely hard to deal with. And I've been recently dealing with some of my own losses, of people who were very key components of my life and, meant a lot and was very dear to me. And also reconnecting with people who were important and at one part of my life and meant a lot to me. So, what I would say to everybody is life is about growth. And I've said this in a couple of our episodes, but I'm going to double and triple down on it. It's about growth. And with that growth, you'll gain wisdom. You'll gain wisdom. And, I say this all the time. You keep God first, or in my situation, you keep Allah first, and you'll find your guidance. Guys, stay spiritually inclined with yourself. Whatever religion you want to take on, it doesn't matter. That is your personal preference. And, I'm not here to knock nobody for that. But stay one with yourself. Stay one with that higher power that guides you and leads you to better choices and just better things in your life. It's the journey that really makes this worth the while. Because when you get to the top, guys, there's nowhere to go but down after that. So be careful on how you rush to get that. There's a thin line between ambition and greed. And you got to know the difference.
And our world promotes, going for greed.
Yeah, but they like to mask it as ambition.
Yeah.
One example of that is this journey that me and my brother and partner here, Leaf, has taken on with the Raw channel. And we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and supporting, and those who subscribed, who's shared, who's liked, who's comment. You are truly appreciated. So I'm going to leave you with this. You have one life to live. Live it to the fullest. Keep God first. Live in the moment and appreciate that tomorrow is not promised. With that being said, you know where to find us. www.therawchannel.com and www.rvimedia.tv. Love, peace, and happiness, guys. We'll catch up to you on the next episode.
Salute. Bye-bye.
We out.